Hello, welcome to Cool Discussions. I'm Barry. This is Chris. Today we're going to be talking about tax carbon tax. We like to be bilingual at Cool Discussions here, or just assholes.
Fuck French.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the carbon tax. We live in Alberta, and we were the pioneers of the carbon tax, apparently, here in Canada. And now, our trusty Liberal government, Justin Trudeau, is decided to hop on the carbon tax train. And that's why we're talking about it, because now it's a bigger thing. It's from what I understand, Mr. Justin Trudeau said he wasn't going to implement any type of carbon tax when he was running for Prime Minister. And, of course, as any politician, has gone back on his word.
Well, he's gone back on his word for a whole bunch of reasons, which are too numerous for just one show. He has adopted the previous government's carbon targets, which are, as everybody in the environmental industry says, they're a laughing joke because they're not obtainable. So he's adopted them instead of making his own, which is like, really? You guys sat across and said, you guys are climate change deniers, and yet they adopt the same policies. The world had a global...
They spent millions of dollars on getting our leaders together and saying, hey, we need to do something about the environment, blah, 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 blah.
Paris Accords.
Meanwhile, they drive in their big lines of SUVs.
Yeah.
And their footprint is probably bigger than anybody's.
The NDP government was actually called out about that. They're talking about, why does the Alberta government pay for trucks and SUVs for the government? And they said, because we need reliable vehicles during the Canadian winters that we have here. Yet, that same government turns around and says, you guys out there need to drive green cars, smart cars, electric cars to save the environment. But the whole reason why we in Alberta buy these SUVs and trucks is because of the Canadian winter.
They pretty much told us, if you don't want to pay more, use less.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just ride my bike to work in minus 40. No problem. I'll just walk.
Because we know how quickly the sidewalks are cleared off here.
Yeah.
Actually, anywhere for that matter, how quickly things are cleared off or de-iced.
So we'll put this into perspective, I guess. What does this mean for the consumer? This means, your prices of everything are going up. From what I understand, on a $30 a ton, I don't know what that really means, of carbon tax on carbon. I don't even know how you fucking tax carbon.
Okay. Each industry, because we can... measure how much carbon is released into the air. So a company like Shell knows how much, because they can track it. They know how much carbon they put into the air. So at that point in time, because they know how much they're producing per ton, they are charged $10. So look, in Alberta, the carbon tax is going to be $10 starting January 2017, $20 in 2018. The federal government has decided that they are going to be starting $10 in 2018 and will rise to $50 in 2022.
I heard it was going to be up to $50 by 2018 with a combination of them. So this is another thing. Is that
these don't stack?
This is another thing that kind of makes me go, There's no real clear explanation of it, because the Canadian Tax Federation said it could cost the average Canadian $2,600 a year.
Yes.
Whereas somebody on the radio here in Calgary, from what I heard, I didn't hear it myself, said it would work out to about $70 a month for the average Canadian. And which is a big difference.
$840 a year.
Which is a big difference from $2,600.
Now, okay, think about it this way. If your gas goes up 4 cents a liter, just right off the top.
Go up to 11 cents a liter with a $50 a ton.
So it'll start off at 4 and get up to 11 cents. Now, when you fill up gas, you're putting in, 30 liters?
50 liters, if you fill right up.
Yeah.
My car holds 62 liters, so...
There you go. $2.48 every time you fill up. You're filling up every 2 weeks. It doesn't sound like a lot of money.
26 times a year.
Yeah, 26 times a year. That adds up. That's just your gas.
And your electricity bill.
Your electricity bill goes up
energy
because
bill,
they need to be able to pay for this carbon because they're producing
It's not
carbon.
they're not going to eat it. The companies are not going to eat this tax. It's all going to be paid down to you. So, we're paying.
Those are direct energy costs too. Like, this is your heating bill, your electricity, and this is your gas. Now, what people don't know is some of the behind the scene things. Restaurants, when they have stuff delivered to them, it's delivered by truck. Now, whenever gas goes up, these trucking companies charge you a surcharge for this delivery because the gas has gone up. Now, the surcharge is can be as little as $1. I've seen it as high as 15. Now, just think about it. They're getting 2 or 3 deliveries a week. That's $30, $45 a week, 52 weeks a year.
Add this into the minimum wage hike.
Yeah. Now,
when you pile everything on top of each other, it's big.
yeah, and restaurants can't absorb. You're thinking, oh, it's only $50 a week. Well, you take $50 a week out of your budget.
Yeah.
And see what happens. For those of you who can absorb $50 a week,
Good for you.
you're making too much money. Screw you.
Good on you. Yeah.
No, it's great that you can, but for the vast majority of people, they can't do that. That's $50 a week that they...
$50 is big. I know it doesn't sound big. You go out, you spend $50 at a restaurant. You're like, oh, that's one meal if you go out to eat.
Yeah.
But to the person living paycheck to paycheck,
that's the difference.
That's the difference between
getting
keeping your power
bottled
on,
water or tap water.
keeping your power on, or feeding your, or having a meal a day. You know what I mean? And it's like some people, and this is real life, are gonna have to choose between, okay, well, now I have to cut my grocery bill, because really, when you think about it, how many things in your budget are like not like that can be actually aren't fixed, like not fixed in price, but fixed that you have to pay. Like, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your electricity. So you have to the things that you could take out, in my mind, are your grocery bill. Like, you can manipulate your grocery bill by buying this. Your telephone bill, your cell phone, your cable bill, your internet bill. That's really about it. Like, if entertainment. So there's 4 things that you can really manipulate in a budget every month.
And here's the thing: it's not like you can just. Okay, if you live in a house, your electricity usage is pretty constant. Now, if you have fluctuations, you might understand why you have fluctuations. There's some little steps you can do to prevent some of the little fluctuations, but generally, your electricity bills, say, $100 a month, constantly, every month, right? Now, all of a sudden, it jumps to $120. Well, can you save $20 worth of electricity to knock it down to $100? Not unless you're drastically changing things.
That's a big change, I would think.
That's 20% less of electricity you're supposed to use. So that means, for example, this is a good way of looking at it. 5 days a week, you wake up in the morning before it's dark. You always turn on the light so you can see. Well, one of those days, you do everything in the dark.
Yeah, you can't turn on it. You have to just use your
That's how you would have to... Well, even then, you'd be decreasing the battery life of your cell phone, and then you'd have to plug it back in.
Charge your phone at work every day.
Yeah, there we go. And it's just like, we have something like this, I don't
know if they can read that.
Surviving the Alberta carbon tax, right? And they're saying things like, you can put solar panels into your house. Wow.
Okay. Can I afford it? Let's be realistic here, okay? Myself, I can only speak for me because I don't know his situation, but I live paycheck to paycheck every month.
Yep.
And when I sit there and think about adding, say, I'm just gonna ballpark this, 6% of my monthly budget for an increase across the board to kind of take, like, I look at that and go, well, where's that money gonna come from? Because I ain't making 6% more every month.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And it's like, where does that come from? So for me, I go, well, I guess I have to sit in the dark, or I have to get rid of my cable, and I already do nothing. I already don't have entertainment. My entertainment budget is virtually zero. So I'm not going to be able to, okay, it's not virtually zero, but like I don't go to movies, I don't go to restaurants. I eat out once a week, so I'm going to have to cut that right out. I'm not going to be able to drink beer. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to have to cut cable. I'm not going to be able to watch hockey, sports. I'm going to have to sit in the dark. That's like, I know that sounds like drastic, but it could come to that with like the increase in minimum wage, the increase in all of this carbon.
We are getting a trifecta of increases here in Alberta. Now, BC already has a cap and trade system. Alberta is going to be having a carbon tax. Ontario has a cap and trade system that hasn't worked for a few years, if I read everything the way I think I'm reading it correctly. All the other places that don't currently have a carbon plan in place will be hit with this federal one that starts at $10 and goes to $50. Now, in Alberta, because we have the minimum wage going up, which is a completely different thing.
I've talked about.
If we didn't have the minimum wage, it might not be as drastic, but we've already had it. We are trying, and then we get the carbon tax, and things are just going to go up. And, people will say it's like, oh, use less. It's like, you can't.
Is it feasible to use less in minus 40? What are we supposed to... Okay, I can understand in like the maybe don't turn your heat on as quickly for when the colder weather comes. But when it hits a certain point, it's like...
You have to.
You have to. You can't just sit there and freeze to death. You can't sit there and freeze to death, and it's like...
Now... I get it. It's like, I've had this argument numerous times with the missus. It's like, during the middle of winter, I would up until I got my pet snake, I never turned the heat on in my house. Now I have to because I have another body. I get it. That was totally my fault. Okay, I can't argue against that. But I have to turn the heat on because I have to keep that snake comfortable because it needs hotter weather. My argument has always been, is like, if it gets cold, cover up. You take a blanket, you hide underneath the blanket, you can do certain things.
That's easy for, like, adults, but when you have young children who don't understand to stay covered up, they want to take off all their clothes.
No, okay.
It's impossible.
And yes, I understand this, it's, okay, my snake isn't quite a child, but I can't let it freeze in my house because I'm going to kill an animal. You can't let it freeze in your house because the kids don't understand that it's cold.
It's cold. Keep your socks on.
Yeah. So there are certain things that are just completely outside of your realm of influence to be able to change. Is a child going to understand that, you got to turn the light off? Yeah, if you train them to.
Yeah, but they don't understand it.
But that takes a while to train a child. If anybody who has
even
kid knows.
Us as adults, like we leave lights on. The bathroom light. Oops, I've got to turn it off. And that's now. It's like now that's going to cost you. You know what I mean? And it's like for somebody to put in an article to go just get solar panels. That's pretty elitist thinking.
Now, in this,
how much would it cost you to put a solar panel on your house?
$18,000
to actually to run your house. And then you have, you want solar panels? Oh, you got to ask the government for permission to put up these solar panels first.
Do you actually need government permission?
Yeah, because it's a build. You have to build something.
That's right, because you're
building something.
Yeah. You need permits for that.
Yeah, you need permits to put on your roof. If I have to put something in my backyard, I have to let my neighbors tell me if I can do it or not. It's like, okay, so I'll just put solar panels. Hold on. Let's go 3 months later, then maybe we can approve you. And it's like, hundreds of that, maybe thousands of dollars later.
Back to just, trying to do some of these things. It's like, new energy efficient cars. Well, an electric car can go anywhere from $32,000 to $100,000.
And even electric cars don't run completely on electricity. And then you've got to get a new outlet for your house to plug your car in. And it's like, okay.
And that's an electricity cost. So you're saving on gas.
Oh, so you're rich? No problems. Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay. Renovations next? To your house.
Oh, right. Building permits, money. Oh, are you rich? No problem.
No, okay. But, a company was saying it's like, if you put your energy efficient windows in your house, okay, That's fine.
It's up to $28,000 to renovate your.
It costs you $1,200 for a better insulated window, and an average house has 20 windows. Well, that's $28,000.
Let's change your windows. No problem. Yeah, I'll just.
A new furnace, $3,000 to $6,000.
Yeah.
Alternate modes of transportation. Now, ride your bike to work.
Okay. You know what? Justin Trudeau and Notley, I'd like you guys to ride your bike everywhere in the winter. Okay?
Yeah.
If they're not riding their bikes everywhere in the winter, or every politician who supports this better be riding a bike. If I don't see them on a bike, then go fuck themselves. Seriously. Okay, so like if you put all these in, which would cost you, at most, we'll say, what would we got? 6, 100, 30... so we'll say 200 grand to retrofit your house, to get a new car, to put solar panels in. Whoa, now you are saving the money that you need to live.
And conservative estimates put that it will take about 10 years minimum to make the money back that you save on electricity or on your renovations.
So let's put this into Canada's carbon footprint is 1.6%
Of the
global-
world.
the world, not just North America, the world. Did that sink in? We were letting that sink in. Pause for effect. The world, 1.6%.
Of the world. China and the U.S. combined make over 55% of the
Are there
world.
any other countries that have carbon tax? Are we the first one?
No, Europe has a cap and trade system, which has been...
Please explain to the viewers what cap and trade means. Well,
Cap and trade
explain
is...
it to me because I have no idea.
No, a cap and trade is very much like the stock market. So each company is given a unit that they can use for a $5 unit, and it will let them. It's a stock, so they have a $5 stock, and every time they can use, they have a limit. So company A will have 20 stocks, and they only use 10 stocks because if they emit $100 worth of carbon, there's the 20 of their 40 stocks, right?
So it is a form of a tax?
It is a form of a tax. Each company that goes over what they're allowed to go over has to pay extra, but they can also buy people's stocks that they didn't use all of. So company B, say they overproduce carbon.
Could buy company A's leftover stuff.
Leftover stuff to give them.
But that's a private transaction between B and A, right?
Yeah, but it's bull. Because, why did company B get so many, and why did company A get so few? So it's basically a money laundering system.
Sounds like it.
It's a pyramid scheme in the grand scheme of things. Now, Europe has had a cap and trade system for, I think, 10 years, maybe 12. And it doesn't work. Emissions have not gone down. They've gone up. Hence the reason why the Paris Accords happened. The two biggest producers of carbon, the U.S. and China, aren't doing anything to curb their emissions. Or, well, the U.S. might be doing...
I just wonder, really... Okay, so, like, carbon footprint would be what would contribute to climate change, right? So I've seen, like, these graphs, and I've seen these of temperature increases and stuff like that over the last 100 years, and from what I can see, the temperature increase, now I'm probably way off on this, and if I am, go ahead, grill me, I don't care. But I'm not a denier of climate change, but I just wonder, is it as bad as we think it is? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the temperature increase over the last 100 years is like 1 degree. 1.5, maybe 2 degrees.
Because also, okay,
but
I'm not 100% on the science, but they're saying that anything over 2 degrees would be a major catastrophe because it changes things.
Okay, but when you look at the world and how much the population and how much everything has changed in that time, would you not be like, well, this accounts for it? Like, obviously the world in 1900 was nowhere near as populated as it is now.
Correct.
So would you just... This is going to sound so stupid, and it's going to make me look stupid, but wouldn't the body heat alone increase the fucking temperature? Like, seriously. when you have 50 people in a room, it's a hotter room because of how many people than if there's just one.
Yep.
So if you have 7 billion people on the Earth, would it not just be hotter just because of those people?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like in this 1900s, because that was in the middle of the Industrial Revolution, you know, we have companies just spewing garbage into the air, into the rivers, and massively. There was no concern for the environment at all. So to think that we're worse now than they are then, okay, I get it, you know, because of the amount of electricity that we need to supply the world, you have all these coal-burning furnaces that produce a lot of smog. Okay, you cut those in half, maybe there could be a change.
But there are companies out there who won't, like oil companies don't want electric cars because it would affect their bottom line. Imagine if you took all the cars out and made them electric. Gas would be no...
No, you still need oil.
You still need it, but gas would go down huge. Like you wouldn't...
No, okay, but...
if they were fully electric cars,
but don't forget oil is used for rubber. Oil is used to make rubber.
But
oil,
if you took gas out, if you took gas, to fuel your car,
you're right. It would be a huge section of what the oil industry does. But you know, in theory, they could easily change to do something less. You wouldn't have to produce.
But do you think they want to?
No,
that would affect their.
You're
profits
right. It would affect their profits.
So, like, do we really want to? Like, it seems like this, like, solar panel technology is there.
Yeah.
But it's so expensive right now. And it doesn't seem that it's really, there's no need for it. There's no want for it. I mean, there's need for it, but there's no want for it. People don't want, like, when you're building a house, why couldn't you just install solar panels? Like,
why aren't they mandatory?
Why aren't, like, those assisted, not assisted living, but the cheap living ones, like where it's like for poor people and they live
affordable housing.
Affordable housing. Why is the government not going? We're going to install solar panels in these apartments to make them more energy efficient.
Well, why isn't the government just stating right off the bat all new houses have to have solar panels?
You need one house, all of them have to have this amount of solar panels,
and that way the price of the house goes up. But you know you're buying a green house.
All cars now need to become electric. All cars need to, you know what I mean? And it's like
I'm sorry. This argument is against electric cars. Electricity still has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it's still going to produce a carbon footprint.
Okay, that electricity, until we find a way to replace coal burning with
solar panels,
or wind.
Yeah. I think we're going about it the wrong way, yeah. We're going about it the wrong way. We're sitting here attacking the end user when we should be attacking the distribution of our electricity, of our gas, of all of these essential services. When we should be going to these companies. You guys need to come up with better ways. We will work together with you to come up with more affordable solar panels, better ways to wind.
And that's the thing. It's like wind technology so far is a failing industry. Solar panels.
I don't understand why it would be. We have wind.
No, you're right. Wind is one big thing about natural energy, like wind, heat, solar, is it's not 100% reliable. If the wind dies, you don't generate electricity. The sun, well, in the north of Canada, like the Northwest Territories,
they don't have
sun. They don't have sun for long periods of time. Great, you can have solar panels. You're still going to need your diesel generator for those 6 months under the year that you don't have any sun. In Calgary, I guess we are the most brightly lit city in Canada.
It's not obviously solar panels aren't 100% feasible, but if it just baffles my mind that we're trying to tax ourselves out of a recession. We're trying to tax ourselves out of a bad economy, and it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. We're trying to help the environment, but we're not really doing anything to help the environment.
That's always been my biggest hang up is, okay, yes, we want to change things, but you know what? We need something to change to. We don't have that something. People are like, oh, you have wind, you have solar panels. We don't have good enough wind turbine generators. Yeah. We don't have
a bunch of lights to turn out at 7 o'clock every night because our wind turbines aren't working properly. Like, I don't know how all that technology works. I don't know how far advanced it is or anything like that. But
it's...
You would think that we have, like, the technology and the people who are smart enough to make this technology. I'm sure if I read on the internet, look stuff up more, I could be like, oh, okay, this is why it's not working, or why it is working, or what the hiccup is and stuff like that. But don't sit there and be like, use less or get solar panels when you know that that's not cost effective. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous for leaders of our country or provinces to sit there and to be able to just be so ignorant to go do this, use less, don't drive as much. It's like, okay, so I never want to see you fly in an airplane ever again. I never want to see you drive in a car ever again.
One of the protesters' signs was at a anti-pipeline rally. He had a sign. It's like, you don't need to drive. I got here by bus. And it's like, where do you think the bus gets its stuff from?
What? Yeah.
It
just pains me because this is going to break some people. And for people who sit there and say that, it's only $70 a month. It's like, well, $70 a month to some people is a big amount of money. You know what I mean?
We'll put this into perspective. For those of you with mortgages, would you actually survive if your mortgage percentage increased by 1%?
Imagine that. Well, 1% on $2,000 would be $2. Put it on $20.
$20.
Yeah, $20. So really,
but we're talking about a mortgage of $500,000.
If your interest went up 1%.
If your interest went up 1%, because right now that's what it's happening is.
But not 1%. We're looking at 6% on average. And
that's where the numbers are hard, exactly. Because some people don't get any. It's only $70 a month, and some people are going, it's $2,600 a year.
And that's what, $250 a month, 200 and some. $200 bucks a month. We'll say $200 a month. It's like 200.
Yeah, that's a
change. But that's a lot. Imagine your budget going up by anything that you own going. Oh, we need 6% more. Whoa! So you take your household budget, 6%. Whoa! It's quite large.
Even for those people who have money, it's still
quite large.
Yeah.
If your budget is $3,000, you're looking at $300, $150, $160 a month. Where does that come from? If you have now I got to save less. Well, I know, speaking from experience, I don't have. If I had to go $160 a month, that's coming out of my grocery money and my other money. You know what I mean? And I know, poor me, I can't watch sports or have cable or have internet or eat pizza or drink beer. Yeah, poor me is right. Because personally, I don't want to live like. That's not living. When you can't do anything that's fun because of somebody else, that's not my choice. That's something being forced onto me. Mm-hmm. Oh, but it's a rebate. Yeah, you realize that the rebate's only like up to $400 max, right?
And anybody making over $51,000.
I heard it. See. There you go. I saw $95,000 as a household income.
There we go.
So this is where there's if
nobody can get the numbers to match, something is fishy. If everybody goes, oh, it's $100
it's across the board.
Yeah. And if you go to scientist A and then go, oh, it's $100. If you go to economist B and it's like, oh, it's $100. If you go to Joe Blow on the street and go, it's $100. Hey, it might actually be $100.
Might work.
But your scientist is saying, oh, it's going to be $100. Your economist is going, it's going to be $26,000.
Yeah.
And Joe Blow on the street is going,
what is it? Yeah.
Fuck?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Because it was Danielle Smith that this person told me she said she read all 3,000 pages of it and crunched all the numbers, and it would be $70 a month.
She can read.
And and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So that's when I looked myself, and I came across these numbers, and it broke down into a chart of like, this is going to go up 20%, this is going to go up 10%. So in my infinite wisdom, I went, well, you could probably conservatively say 6% across the board of your monthly income. So whatever your monthly expenses are, increase that by 6%. That's probably what you're looking at for your carbon tax.
Let's hope it's not that bad. But
I don't know, 6% is gonna affect me. 6%.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm hoping it's not going to be that bad. I hope it's not all doom and gloom. I really hope that these magic numbers that the NDB are coming up with are right. Because at that point in time, we can go, oh, you guys were right, and it's not that bad. However, it's never that easy. So,
let us know your thoughts on these carbon tax.
yeah, everybody's going to get hit everywhere in Canada, and it's going to not go well.
Are you happy who you voted for still? If you voted Liberal, are you still happy? If you voted
Way to
NDP,
go.
are you still happy? Let us know if you're still happy, because I haven't seen one person say I voted NDP, and it's like, okay. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. See, guys, we don't cut out there. You know, you see most YouTubers right there. There'd be like a skip in their video.
Hard cut.
Here at Coull Discussions, we just leave it all out there. We leave our blunders. We leave our stick my foot in my mouth. Because you know why we do that? Because we're humans, and everybody does this. Everybody has their times where they stick their foot in their mouth. Everybody has a brain fart, forgets what they're thinking about, and we want to show that. You know what I mean? Like, there are tons of good YouTubers out there and YouTube channels out there that give you the news that we're giving you. And they
do it in a way better.
They may do a better job.
standard.
Exactly. They probably do a better job at it. But the reason that we're coming across is because we're two average Joes. We don't get a paycheck from a big company. We go to work Monday to Friday, like you guys. We do this on our spare time. We want to give you the perspective from the average Joe, from the person who's going to be hit hard, who's going to see it and go. Because I know that a lot of people, well, they don't think like me because I think like a hippie. But a lot of people think like him. You know what I mean? And so we want to give you that perspective. That's why we don't do the big edits. That's why we just come across this way. This is why we just come across. You know, sometimes we read a headline and we make judgments from it, and I'll come to the show and I'll be like, I'm making a judgment from a headline. Because that's what we all do.
Everybody does it.
People read a headline and go, well, fuck this fucking tax, Jesus Christ. And then you read into it and go, fuck this fucking tax, still sucks. You know, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Give us your thoughts. Because we're just average Joes.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Bye. Every time I watch like videos, right? That's what I think. I go, I see you can see, because you can see the cut, right?